Hi, and welcome back to the Crafty Author. My name is Anissa. I am the Crafty Author, and welcome to my quilting room. Today, I am going to be showing you how to make the Quilt Journal. So I showed this on a episode of Sewing Talk Tuesday a while back, and there was a lot of overwhelming interest on how I made this. So I'm going to show you how I make this, and then I'm going to tell you how you can do this as well if you don't have access to a binding machine to do it yourself. So things that you're going to need. You're going to need some vinyl. You're going to need paper. You're going to need cardstock. You will need access to a printer so that you can print off your page inserts. You will need a way to be able to cut your paper, so scissors and a ruler will work. I do have a quick little video showing you how I created the pages inside. I used Canva to do it, and it's easy. It's a free program, so if you just download Canva or go to canva.com, you can do that. I don't work for Canva or anything like that, so I just use it for my personal use. I love it. Excuse me, it works well. I have a crocodile here. This is a We Are Memory Keepers crocodile. I have this, I've had this for years. You can also use a hole punch if you would like. It isn't completely necessary to have that, but if you want to use embellishments, then it comes in really handy. I have the cinch, which is the binding machine that I will be using to bind it. I have binding combs. See what else. I have some ribbon. I have a can full of fabric flowers. I have some washi tape, and I have cardboard. I have some ribbon, adhesive, wire cutters, and then I have some letters that I picked up at Hobby Lobby today. And I have cardstock paper that I will be using in our book. So I'm just going to start getting it all together. Oh, I forgot to show you, and the vinyl. So I'm going to be using Cricut Vinyl. Any vinyl that you have or any paper that you have, you can actually do this with cardstock as well. But I'm going to be using vinyl just because I feel like it helps it to go a little bit faster. I am going to be cutting my outer pieces. These are 8.5 by 7, so 7 inches wide, 8.5 inches long. And then my inserts are 6.5 by 8.5. All right, so I'm going to show you how I create these papers. I use a program called Canva. And Canva has a free and it has a paid version that you can use. So I'm just going to type in canva.com. I use the paid version of it because I use it for my YouTube stuff. So let's see if I can get you a little closer. That's the address there, canva.com. And zoom out. What I do is I go up here to create a design. And I did a custom size for this because my journal is 6.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches long. So I wanted to make sure I had my writing on the correct side. So I just want to make sure that my design will fit. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And I was able to add my own dimensions in there. Now, yours will vary from however big you decide to do it. Over here on the side is where you have templates, elements, uploads, text, backgrounds, logos. So you could actually change the background color if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. All I do is I made a text, and I just went ahead and I chose, when I chose text, and then I clicked here. Wait, hold on. What am I doing? Right here. This is what I chose. So I'm going to add a subheading, but I'm not really going to do a subheading. So I'm going to go over here and then I'm going to choose the font that I want. And we're just going to go with this one just for fun. And I am just going to show you how I do this. So then I would write quilting notes up here. And you don't have to do this. You could certainly leave it blank, but I was making these as gifts for some of my Patreon supporters. And so I wanted to make this really cute. So if you support me as a Patreon, and you're at a certain level, then you receive a gift from me every quarter. So anyway, that's what this is for. And if you want to support me on Patreon, the link is down below in the description box. Anyway, it's just one of the perks. So here is the quilting notes, and now it would be ready to print. So you have that ready to go. And then when you put it inside of your quilt journal, you would have it there. So I have in my quilt journals, I have graphs, and let me see if I can pull them up and show those to you, because we'll just get out of this. That way you can see what we're kind of working with here. Quilt journals. Okay, so I have fabric swatches. So this was one that I created. So you can see here that that is a page in the quilt journal. And then I have a graph paper one so that you can plot out your quilt there. I have several different things in there. So if you're looking to do something like that, then that is how you would go in there and create it. Now, I just created mine just from the top of my head, thinking about things that I normally write down when I'm making a quilt and whatnot. So that's why I did that. And I put a lot of notes pages in there just because, you know, as a quilter, you just jot a lot of things down. If you're anything like me, then you have a lot of sticky notes and little notes here and there. So it's kind of nice to keep them all in one place, especially if you're designing a specific quilt, then you have it in one book and you can always go and grab it when you want to reference it. So that is how we create the pages for the quilt journal. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to work on my covers, my front and my back covers. And what I will do is just try and unwrap this real quick. It's really pretty. Okay. All right, so now I have a couple of these that I can decide which one I want to do. So I can either do these really pretty flowers, or I can do these leaves, or I can do these kind of like a yellowish green polka dot. But I think it's a toss up between these two. I think I'm going to go with the top one. No, I think I'm going to go with the flowers. And I'll save those for a different one. Make sure that I have enough for both of these. Sometimes, oh yes, this one is perfect because sometimes you don't get enough. So what I do, I like to use my ruler, my quilting ruler, and also just a straight blade. So I like to leave about 3 inches or 3 squares here up at the top. You can see these little squares right here. There's actually 3 rows of them here. So I like to cut mine along that line. And it's okay if it's not exact. I'm going to use an X-Acto knife. You could use a pair of scissors. Could use anything. I'm just going to do this because I find that it saves time and it goes really quickly when I do that. And then I'm not going to worry about the rest of it down below. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover my blade. And I'm going to just go ahead and peel this back now. This is what is so great about working with the vinyl, because with vinyl, you don't have to worry about gluing it down or anything like that, because it's already done. The adhesive is already on there for you. So and you don't want this to stick to itself, because when it does, it's a nightmare. So that's why I have it sticking to my hands here. And I'm just going to kind of lay this down and eyeball it like right here where I think it might be kind of centered. And then I'm going to put it down. You can see it went on nice and smooth. So I didn't have any issues that way. And then I like to fold my corners like this. And then I press them. This is going to make my corners look nicer here. So the next thing that I'm going to do, since we're still going to be working on our covers, is I am going to start doing the embellishments. So you really want to do your embellishments before you start putting in your cover here to cover up the not so pretty part. So this one, I am going to put some ribbon in it. And I'm also going to do some lace ribbon too. Going to just cut me some ribbon here. Going to cut this in half. I'm going to put a grommet. I have pink and I have green, but I actually think the green is going to look better on here. So I'm going to do a green flower that looks like that. And this is something that you can do with the Crocodile. And so I'm just going to find a center point here with my ruler. I'm going to come over here. Just going to mark it right there. I'm just doing this so that the ribbon will stay fairly even. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you want it to look pretty decent. You don't want it to be too far off. So I've made my little pencil mark right there. And I'm going to use my Crocodile now, and I'm just going to punch a hole in it. So I'm going to slide this back, and you can see that this is like a giant hole punch right there. And I am going to punch that hole. I'm going to look for it, and I'm going to punch it right there. Okay. I'm also going to do that right here. So I need to Actually glue ribbon inside of here, and it would make it look really, really nice. So just gonna stick that there. And then I'm going to put, so you can see I have the grommet there and the nice side on the outside. And then I'm going to set this down on top of this. And I'm going to stand up because I need to give it a little bit of push here. Okay, so I've got that in there. And I am going to do the same thing here. I'm going to use a little bit of adhesive to hold our ribbon in place here. So that it doesn't come up or move. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to put and so we're going to move on to putting more stuff on our cover. So this is the fun part. The decorating part is the most fun that I ever have doing this. I love to just sit here and create and do fun things. So I'm going to take my lace, my package of lace, and I've had this for a really long time, but I just find that this makes such nice embellishments on notebooks and just anything. So if you can find this stuff, you should pick it up because it's really good. You can get this stuff at Dollar Tree most of the time as well. So, and all I'm going to do with this is I am just going to put a stream of adhesive glue down here. Make sure I'm not crossing, and make sure I got this going in the right direction, because sometimes I don't. Like that. Okay, so I ran out of adhesive, so we're gonna throw that away. And where did I put them all? Everything already cut and prepared, and this is what I will be using for the insides of our book. So I can use the flower side or I can use the princess side, but since it's floral, I think I'm going to stick with the floral side. And I want to make sure I have this cut proper. I do. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is just put a bunch of adhesive all over this one when I get it to the correct side. And I want this to stick down really, really well, because we don't want anything to come undone on that inside pocket there, or inside area. Okay, so then I'm gonna just position that right up to the edge here. And you could do this, you could round these corners on this if you wanted to, but I'm not going to be doing that today, so we should be good there. Okay. So our back side is done. I am going to put a little bit of adhesive here to hold that ribbon. Just a little bit of extra hold there. It's already being held by the grommet, but I just kind of want to solidify that. Okay, so that's there now. It's all in there nice and good. Okay, back side is done. But you can see how I created this pocket here with the diagonal. So you can do that. I am going to stick with keeping them all square for this one. So what I do is I just take, and I've already cut these to size that we need. I'm just going to take my adhesive, and I'm just going to run the glue along the 3 edges, and then I will stick them on here, and this is going to create a little pocket. So create a little pocket. Oh, good Lord. So that you can put stuff in it. Okay. So now what we need is our binders. Where'd they go? Our binding spirals. Here we go. Right here. There are 4 in this box. So it was $4.99 for 4 of them, which isn't bad at all. I did purchase this washi tape. You could use washi tape if you want to. I'm not going to use washi tape on here. I thought I might, but I'm not going to. So all of that we do now is we want to hook our make sure it's on there. So we want to put our binder on there. Okay, so I have this set up, and I'm just going to go ahead and put our backing on. Now, you can do this another way, but I'm going to do it this way. All right, so we are done with our quilt journal, and this is what it looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's so pretty. Everything is nice and bound, and it's ready for use. And so we're just gonna untie it, and then we'll open it up, and voila. And now you have a quilt journal. So that is how you make one of those. They are so fun and so easy to do. And like I said, if you don't have the binding tool, you can always punch holes and just use ribbon in there as well, and it will work just as good. So if you would like to follow me on social media, the links are down below in the description box. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click that little bell. You'll get notified each and every time that I upload an awesomely cool new video, and keep on crafting. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.